I think that we ask ourselves an impossible question all the time. What if that happened to me? And then, without even realizing it, we try to predict how we would cope. Imagine you're offered a promotion. At first, you're excited, but then the questions start. What if I'm not good enough? What if everyone realizes that I have no idea what I'm doing? What if I've made a huge mistake? Now imagine yourself 6 months later. You know everyone's name, you know the routines, you know the job. The things that kept you awake at night before you started have just become part of your normal routine. So what changed? Because the job didn't suddenly become easy. The thing that changed is you. And I think we forget that when we imagine the future, we're essentially asking today's version of ourselves to imagine how the future version of ourselves will feel. And that's a question that today's version of you can never answer properly. Think about becoming a parent. Before the baby arrives, people ask, do you feel ready? But how could anyone honestly answer yes? You can read every parenting book, you can watch every single video on YouTube, you can buy everything on the checklist. But none of those things will ever make you a parent. The only thing that does is actually becoming one, slowly. One sleepless night at a time, one nappy at a time, one mistake at a time. Well, think about your first day at a new job. You don't know where anything is. You don't know anyone's name. You wonder if you've made the right decision. Then, a few months later, you're the one showing the new starter around. Life is full of moments like that. Things that feel impossible until they slowly become normal. Not because those things got smaller, but because you grew around them. I think that's the part that we constantly underestimate. Not how difficult life can be, but how adaptable we are. This doesn't mean that everything works out. Some experiences stay painful. Some losses never stop hurting. And I'm not trying to pretend otherwise. But even in those moments, people often discover strength that they never knew they had. Not dramatically, not overnight, but gradually. I've spoken to people who've lost loved ones, who've changed careers, who've become parents. People who have rebuilt their lives after things have completely fallen apart. And almost all of them have said some version of exactly the same thing. I never thought I'd get through it. Not because they were wrong about how hard it would be, but they were wrong about themselves. They underestimated the person they'd become by living through it. So maybe the next time your mind says that you'll never cope with that, I want you to remember something. The person answering that question hasn't met the challenge yet. The future version of you will know things that current you doesn't know, have experiences that you haven't yet had, carry strengths that you haven't yet built. So maybe stop asking, would I cope? Because today's version of you can't possibly know. A better question to ask is, who might I become if I go through that experience?